Bryan Danielson was injured at AEW Double or Nothing. We'll get into that in a second. Plus, Kota Ibushi receives a pay cut from New Japan Pro Wrestling and possible future plans for a SmackDown star. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Adding to the snake bit professional wrestling world today is Bryan Danielson. Definitely suffering an injury at Double or Nothing. What's the story here, Ross?
Fightful Select learned, I should say, that Danielson missed a scheduled meet and greet when the fans showed they were told he would not be there. A staff member told a fan that Danielson was injured and unable to fly. He could fly? Oh my God. He really is a dragon.
He did say, I wish I could fly right up to the sky, but I can't.
You can't. Which the venue itself also confirmed to Fightful. Thus far, Danielson nor AEW have confirmed, or commented or confirmed, Danielson did not wrestle after Anarchy in the Arena at AEW Double or Nothing.
People saying that there's a few sources, like Brian Alvarez, who says that he was injured at Double or Nothing, which is why we haven't seen him compete for a while. Which is a concern considering the roster. Now, it's not too big a concern in the grand scheme of things because according to Alvarez, it's not a massively serious injury. He should be back after 2 weeks. But I feel for... Well, there's something in the air at the moment, isn't there? There's something in the water.
Wednesday, Punk went down after jumping on the barricade. You look back at that footage and that's when that happened. My God. Horrible looking back at that second time around, the silly bugger. And we had Danielson obviously on Sunday before, and then obviously Cody going into Hell in a Cell. There is something in the water, and get it out of there. Chlorine. Stop drinking chlorine, everybody.
There's some top advice from Ross there. Don't drink chlorine. Do we see, 2 weeks is not a long time in the real world, but it kind of closes the window on the Forbidden Door. Do we see Bryan Danielson potentially still competing at Forbidden Door?
I think it's one of the things that nearly kept him with WWE, the fact he wanted to wrestle someone from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think there was that story that Vince McMahon wanted to give him the sort of special dispensation to go and do that. Obviously, he turned that down and went elsewhere. Of course, he's going to get himself back, and of course, he's going to wrestle someone from New Japan. Who that is, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's all up in the air with Forbidden Door at the moment in terms of who's going to do what. I mean, we could potentially see Tanahashi potentially as AEW champion coming out of Forbidden Door. That could be a thing.
Yeah, so what's the score? It's Moxley versus a Battle Royal winner.
Yes.
Then it's Tanahashi versus another man.
Versus somebody at Dominion.
Yes.
And then the winners face each other at Forbidden Door.
So we could have we're going to get a new champion, aren't we, anyway?
An interim
champion, yeah.
How do you feel about the interim champion things? I've not really seen you to ask you about it.
I think it's quite nice because Punk can go and run back that thing from 2011, can't he, with Cena?
Yeah, where he just walks out with the championship and goes... Here I am.
Hello. I didn't actually leave. It was all a joke. What am I like?
In my head, for me, it makes my head itch with the admin side of it. So, whoever wins this, will they be listed as a champion, or will there be because I'm just thinking the formatting for Wikipedia is going to be a nightmare with this because you've got to have a little section now or asterisks.
Well, you should know this off the top of your head. What about Michaels and Razor in the mid '90s with the Intercontinental Championship? Who was the interim?
Oh no, Razor was the champion without a doubt. It was classed as Michaels forfeiting the title.
Oh right.
But Michael still looks like Michael just turned up and went, "Hey, I've got the belt. I am still sexy."
Bit of a Nelson Mandela effect there for me.
Let's talk about New Japan. Actually, we mentioned it there about Forbidden Door. New Japan Pro Wrestling have announced, following all the back and forth between them and Kota Ibushi. This is where Kota Ibushi was posting a lot of messages from office people within New Japan Pro Wrestling, those that were trying to rush him back, and then those who were keeping him back from a show once he was better. There's been a lot of back and forth and a lot of upset between New Japan and Kota Ibushi. New Japan Pro Wrestling announcing yesterday in a statement a 3-month pay reduction for Kota Ibushi, as well as company president Takami Obari and company official Kikuchi. This comes from the issues between Ibushi and company management. They are both Ibushi and Obari are getting 10% pay cuts for 3 months. Additionally, Kikuchi is transferred to a different position within the company now, where he had served as the assistant to Gedo as the head booker. He served as the assistant to the head booker. Now he'll be elsewhere. The statement ends with New Japan Pro Wrestling would like to once again apologize for the concern and inconvenience caused by these events and humbly ask for your continued support. Interesting. I don't know. I'm trying to think of any time somewhere in the western side of wrestling has gone this route.
I can't think of one in the Western, but in the Far Eastern, we go back to the All Japan days. Yeah. Documentary on that coming soon to the channel. Honestly, it's coming soon. Sometime in the not too distant future. But it's interesting to see this Kikuchi fella is now got the role of Dwight K. Schrute from The Office. The assistant to the regional manager. It's incredible, eh?
He's the Dwight now. Busy weekend on the British wrestling scene. Progress Wrestling held their Super Strong Style 16, and Chris Ridgway is the new Progress champion after multiple days over the Jubilee. I mean, it's a risk running anything during the Jubilee. If Queenie's not, I mean, we nearly had that show in Nottingham, and they end up finishing that off.
I mean, to be fair, the Queen didn't announce her Jubilee up until last week, did she? So no one
knew it was going to be 70 years. Absolutely furious. Queenie was livid. She was going to watch that and everything.
She just didn't even go at the Saturday party. She was that pissed off. She was like, those authors of pain ruined my big weekend.
I was ready to watch Adam Scher. Paddington. That's why Paddington was round. They were going to watch Lana get put through a table again.
That's because the not Nancy Prince was like, oh, my mummy loves marmalade sandwiches. Charles, that's his name.
Charles is the one. Progress. Oh, this is a minefield. It was over that weekend that it's weird how Progress has kind of become this sort of. I keep using the phrase forbidden door. I know.
Everyone goes there, don't they?
Everybody seems to go there. It's like Cheers. NXT UK was represented with Charlie Dempsey. AEW was represented with Johnny Progress, aka Johnny Elite, and Anthony Ogogo. Giselle Shaw, who's obviously a Progress performer, now is over at Impact Wrestling. So you kind of had a lot of people merging here for this long weekend for Progress. Best wishes to G Money, who got a broken knuckle during the tournament, and I just put the belt on Gene Money, you cowards. Put the Progress title on Gene Money, you cowards. Let's end on something else. SmackDown news. And anybody else that puts something like this on Insta, Ross, I would just see it as just a bit of bluster. But this is a guy that's manifested destiny before.
He has, yeah.
Which is why I'm intrigued by it. What's Xavier Woods put on the Instagram?
Of course, for years he didn't shut up about King of the Ring being a thing and how he wanted to win King of the Ring. And eventually, of course, last year? Last year, my God, this time is flying. He won the King of the Ring. This time he's gone on Instagram and put King's Log. Yesterday, that's not like a poo. It's a blog entry. Yesterday counted the 14th week that I have fought Sheamus, Ridge, and Butch. It was a good match, I thought, on SmackDown last week between Xavier Woods and Butch. I'm on board with Butch. There's just one drawback to Butch, and that's the fact that Pete Dunne was a thing for many years before. If Pete Dunne wasn't a thing and it was just Butch, everyone would love Butch.
I'd argue that Flex Cavano was a thing a long time before Rocky Murphy.
Anyway, the King's Log continues. That's more than a quarter of this year. Once we are rid of them, I can focus on Ricochet and the Intercontinental title. But for now, we walk for miles inside this pit of danger.
Beautiful, mate. Ricochet set to face Gunther for the IC title next week on SmackDown. Do we maybe see Gunther winning the IC title and then Woods going for Gunther?
If they are serious about Gunther, and so far they have been serious about the Ring General, they'll just have Gunther flatten Ricochet, because I know that Ricochet, there was that story a couple of months ago that he is the second top babyface or whatever on SmackDown behind Daddy Drew McIntyre. But if you're serious about Gunther, have him flatten Ricochet, because Ricochet is nowhere near Gunther, in my estimations anyway, in the pantheon of wrestlings.
Oh, so
I know that makes no sense, but I'm trying to, you know what I mean, don't you?
And then Gunther is a dominant, overbearing Intercontinental champion?
And then maybe we knock down Woods a few months and then build him back up again to eventually get the big win over Gunther, who has held the title and defended the title lots of times, by the way. Don't do to Gunther potentially what you did to Shinsuke Nakamura every single time he won a US title or an IC title and make him disappear. Don't do that. That's the wrong thing to do.
Because if you were to make Gunther a powerful, dominant champion, it's very obvious booking that one would say
writes itself. We need a thing.
We need a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It writes itself as a t-shirt. Cultaholic.com does not write itself. We have a team of people that do that, and you can check it there throughout the day for the latest wrestling news and WTF moments. Later today, from AEW, WWE Hell in a Cell. Whoa, it's been too many pay-per-views.
Well, look at the comments now. Eh? They've got you there.
Oh, well, that'll be me done till tomorrow.
So I'll be there as well, hopefully. Unless me bowels stop again.
That'll be a very different King's log. Stay safe.
I wish it was a log. It was just sort of like a cow pat.
Love you, log.